Hello, guys, and welcome back to Jaipur National University. I know it's all is going with so much of confusion and so much of pandemic reactions. You all, guys, I hope just you all are doing very great at your place. So let's not break the learning process too, because learning is very important for your endeavor or for your future endeavors. Basically, today we will be going to start with the measures of central tendency. This is our new topic, which is very important in our quantitative techniques for management, because all the formulas, all the derivations will be going to introduced over here, and then they will be going to level up. Okay, so first we should know about the basics. So basically, today we will be complete our basic scenario or basic for our quants program. So basically, starting with our first topic, which is our measures of central tendency. So what do you know about central tendency? Basically, so central tendency, by using central tendency, we call it as a performance of the group, that it depict the performance of the group in such a way that if we have a lot many data, and in that, by that particular data, we need to calculate the mean or some kind of mode or in the median, then we have to gather all of the qualitative and the quantitative data so that we can conclude our decision for our respective performances, right? So measures of central tendency provides you the convenient way to describe all the sets of data and the quantitative information you have, and describe the performance of that particular quantitative data to you. So it also defined as a single value, that is it is basically shows you the center of the data, which is very important. Although, if when you will be going to calculate the mean, it will give you the average. When you will going to calculate about the median, it will give you the middlemost value or the mid value. Or when you will be going to calculate about the mode, it will be giving you the most recurring value. Okay, so basically, when we go with all mean, mode, median, and the other components of central tendency, that time we have to focus that how we are performing or how our data is performing in the market or in our research project, basically. So where three main measures of central tendency are mean, mode, and median. These three are very important, because after that, whenever we will be going to calculate the dispersion or the correlation or the regression, at that time we have to know about it, that what are the basics for them. Because the formula which we will be going to use in the upper level, that correlation or in the regression or in the dispersions or the skewness, to calculate the skewness, at that time we should know about that how to calculate the mean, that the value of the mean, what will be the value of the mean, so that it will be help you to calculate the standard deviation or the covariance or the variance. So these words, I might be some of you are the familiar from these words, but those who haven't, so for them this is very important, because in the MBA we have many branches. So the students over MSc microbiology or biotechnology, or the BTech students are here. Then we have the BSc students too, BCA students too. So those who are coming over from the different backgrounds, those who don't have any knowledge about the statistics or the quantitative techniques, so this video is particularly is to emphasize them, so that they can go through all the concepts, all the basic concepts, so that they can clear their doubts in a one shot. So let's start with the mean. So what is mean? Basically, तो mean जो होता है, that depict the average. That means you have the quantitative data in a bulk, and then you have to calculate that what is the average size of this room, or average size or average height of the students in the class 12. Then the average weight of the class is 12th standard. So these kind of questions or these kind of problems, what we faced in our organization too, that what will be the average profit in past 3 years or in past 5 years, or what is the average sale or turnover in the past 6 months, that will be calculated by the help of mean. Okay, so here we come across the word arithmetic mean, which is related to the measures of central data, which is basically depicting the average, to calculate the average. Okay, so computation of mean is having a simple formula, that is summation bar, where we have the x bar, that is known as mean, depict the mean. Okay, then formula is the summation x upon n, that means total of all the observation upon the number of observations. Okay, and then if we have the group data, that means we have the frequency to, for example, if I have the data like 4 students are having the weight of 62 kgs, 5 students are having the weight of 65 kgs, and 8 students have the weight 67 kgs. That means if I have given the frequency with the particularly class, that for that I have to use the group data, that will be known as the group data. Okay, so group data, for the group data we have the formula as some x bar equals to summation fx, that means the frequency you have, you need to multiply it by the x or whatever the class you have given. Okay, so you will be going to multiply it, and then you will get the fx, and then the total of fx will be known as your summation fx. Okay, and that total of summation fx will be divided by the number of observation you have, or over here the number of observations are not 5 or 6, they will be the total of frequency. Okay, so again, in, in simple term we can say that that will be the summation f. Okay, so for that the formula will be summation fx upon summation f, it will depict the grouped data. So the next one is, I have also given the example over here, that the score of 15 students in mathematics for IQs consists of 25 items. Okay, the highest scores is 25 and the lowest score is 10. So we have the range, that the 10 to 25 we have the range. So here the scores are 25, 20, 18, 18, 17, so such kind and so on. We have the uh, like we have the marks of the scores of the students, and the following students have secured all these things. So now what we will do, we will going to add all these series, 25, 20 plus 18 plus 18 plus 17. We will be going to add all these things, and we will get the value, and that value will be known as summation x, and that will be 228. Okay, and the number of observation is like 20, 25, 20, 18, 17. So we need to calculate that how many observations we have. So in total we have the 15 observation. Okay, so what we will do for calculating mean, what we will do, we will going to calculate it by dividing 228 by the number of observation, that is 15, and we'll get the answer 15.2 over here. And the next one is, according to the what will be the analysis we will be going to get from it. So the analysis we will get, that the average performance of the 15 students will be participated in the quiz competition of 20 in the 25 items, get the average marks is 15.20. So this is what we this is what we analyze from that particular data, right? And then we can also we can also emphasize that if this situation is come across to your organization or to your industry, then what will you do? You will be going to collect all the relevant data for the past 6 months, past 9 months, or a 1 year or 3 years. Then you will going to calculate the average of it, and then by that you will going to get your sales revenue or your turnover or your inventories. So by that you will going to calculate all those measures. So basically, then I have also taken a mean for the grouped frequencies, so that you can also know about it, that how to calculate the grouped mean. So basically, the again we have a subjects, we have a grade, then we have the weightage, or you can say frequencies. And then okay, fine, there's a different, you can say there's a different topic which is known as weighted mean, but we are not studying it over here right now. We are just studying about the frequency and the mean. So what we are doing right now, the frequency or the weights or the units, which whatever we have, we will be going to multiply it by the grades, and by that we will be going to get the xw or the fx. Okay, so by adding all those things to each other, or by the summing up all the things above all the things, we will be going to get a value, and that is 32 over here. Okay, and the what I have told you previous, that the frequency, the number of observation over here will change to the total of the frequency. Okay, so over here we have the weightage, so we will be going to calculate, or we'll be going to take the total of weightage, and total of weightage is 26. So we will be going to divide it, that xw will be divided by the summation x, that summation xw upon summation x, and that will be known as your 32 upon 26, and by that we will be going to get the value of it, right? So if we'll get the value of 1.23 over here, and again you can find out that the grade point average of all the final semesters or the first semester students in 2013-14 will be 1.23. It's just a normal data which we have calculated, right? So further, like we have the mean, and we have the grouped mean, we have the discrete values of it, and then we have the distribution model, continuous model. Okay, that continuous and the discrete group means is the continuous, which we will be going to calculate like 10 to 12, which are being divided under the class. Okay, so that will be like 10 to 20. Okay, 10 to then 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. That will be known as your continuous mean, or your continuous data. Whereas the discrete data is the individual one, that 1, 2, 3, 4. That will be known as your discrete data. So basically we will be going to calculate the mean according to discrete data. We will going to calculate it by continuous data too. So over here mean is further divided as a, like as a group data which are being arranged in the frequency distribution, and the frequency distribution will be further arranged according to the class or categories, or by what measures we have distributed or we have divided it to. Then the frequencies are basically the number of observation which are falling under that particular category or that particular scores, so that will be going to get under that you can say class intervals. Okay, so finally then we have to calculate the mean by the group data or by the continuous mean. Then we have the formula for that too, that the x like the summation fm must be divided by the n. So this is what we will be going to calculate by the continuous mean, that classes intervals which are being defined or are being categorized accordingly. Okay, so and then there are some many steps to calculate the mean for the group data, that we have to first calculate the midpoint. So whenever you will be going to get the continuous data, that 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, that means that it will be the continuous data. In that particular class you need to calculate the midpoint, and the midpoint will be known as will be calculated as lower limit plus the upper limit upon 2. So wherever the 10 will be the lower limit, 20 will be the upper limit, and that will be divided by 2. So that means 15 will be the midpoint of that. Okay, so by that you will be going to calculate it, the midpoint of the class. Then you will be going to multiply it by the frequency, and you will be going to get the sum of it, and after that you will be going to get the sum of frequency and the whatever the mean or midpoint you have multiplied it. Okay, so that time you will be going to get the summation of xfm, and that total will be divided by again the number of observation or the number of frequency, the total number of frequency or the sum of frequency. Okay, so by that we will be going to calculate the grouped mean. Again I have taken an example over here, that 40 students are there which are going to appear in the science class, which having the 60 items we have, to 10 to 14, 15 to 19, 20 to 24, we have this kind of data with us, and then we have calculated the midpoint and frequency over here. What I have done over here, that I have multiplied the frequency to the midpoint which I have calculated. So then I have get the frequency into frequency and fxm, which is known as fxm, and then what I have done, I have I have totaled up all those things, or I have sum up all those values. So I got 1345, and then the total of the summation fxm will be 1345 divided by the total of the frequency, that will be 40, and accordingly you will be get the solution of it again. So there are some properties on which mean work on. That means it will be work, it measures the stability, that how mean, the mean is the most stable among other measures of central tendency, because every score or every person or every data or every value will be going to contribute something to the for the calculation of value of mean basically. Okay, so the sum of each score will be going to give you the will going to depict their value in the mean. Okay, so it is easily affected by the extreme scores. If the extreme scores get different or get changed, they will be going to affect the mean. Then it will be applied to interval level of measurement. It cannot be, or it may not be the actual score in the distribution, but it is very easy to compute and to analyze. Okay, so further there's another topic which we are going to discuss over here is median. So median is basically the which you have known as the midpoint, or you can say that the median divides the score or divides the data into two equal parts, and then by that you will going to get the mid value or midpoint value. Okay, for example, the 50% will be going to lie to the right hand side, and the 50% lie to the your left hand side, because the mid value will going to cut down your data in two parts which will be equally divided. Okay, so it is also known as the middle score or the 50th percentile, or the you have second quartile. Okay, so these quartile and percentile are being deciles, or whatever the things you will be going to calculate, that will be calculated by the help of median. Okay, so basically median can be in ungrouped or in a grouped data. So if whenever it will be ungrouped data or in a discrete series, we only have the number of observations we have, like 19, 17, 16, 15, 10, 5, 2, this kind of like data I have over here. So what we will be going to do, we will be going to arrange them in a ascending or in a descending order first. Okay, and then if it will be the odd values, then by the odd values we will be going to take the mid value. Okay, by the middlemost value we'll be going to take it. Okay, so if you will be going to arrange them in a ascending order or in a descending order, accordingly you will get the value. Over here I have 7 students data, that is 19, 17, 16, 15, 10, 5, 2, which is already arranged in order. So that by that I have again, okay, 7 is an odd number, so I have pick up the middlemost value, that is the 15, and the 15 is what I have suggest, that 15 will be your mid value for it. Similarly, if you have the data for the 8 students, like even students, for them we will be what we will be going to do, we will be take the two mid values. Okay, so the first mid value will be the 16 and the second mid value will be the 15. Okay, then n1 plus n2, that means we will be going to add both the values and it will be divided by 2, that means 15.5, which we are getting over here. Okay, and there is another method too to calculate the even data, that formula is also different from here, but we are using the simple one because we are just having a we don't need to use it very frequently, because we just have to use the arithmetic mean most frequently and the median for calculating the percentile and quartiles. So when we have the median for the grouped data, that time we are formula got changed, that median equals to, okay, so over here to x bar hai, that is depicting median, but the value or the word depicting, the letter depicting m is known as the median. The capital M will be depicting to the median, the symbol of median will be the capital M. Okay, so the formula will be m equals to lower limit plus n by 2 minus cf, that is cumulative frequency. Okay, which we will going to calculate it. Okay, then it will be divided by median frequency, middle class frequency, and that will be total multiplied by the class interval. Okay, so this is what we have the formula over here for the median. Okay, again I have a why we are going to calculate the group data. So I have again cleared it file, that we need to go through some of the steps. Okay, so the steps will be that first we have the class intervals, we will be having the x, we will be going to have f, By that, we need to calculate the class frequency. So class frequency will be going to come up by the adding up the frequency to the upper one. Okay, so for example, I have just okay, I have a question over here, that frequency I have, that 523529635. So these kind of frequency I have, and the class intervals again I have. So what will be the class so we were talking about the median of group data. So median of group data is calculated by the different formula, and the formula will be over here, will be the x bar. Okay, fine. So let me tell you that x bar is the only symbol or depicting the mean. Okay, and the median के लिए जो हम वैल्यू लाइक यू कैन से कि हम जो साइन डिपिक्ट करते हैं, दैट इज एम, कैपिटल एम, ठीक है, विच विल बी डिपिक्टिंग द मीडियन ओवर हियर. So the formula for the same will be LB, that means the lower limit, plus n by 2 minus cumulative frequency upon middle or the median class frequency multiplied by the class interval. Okay, so now you will be going to get the so much frustration that what type of these things are. So don't worry, we have a formula and we have a question too, so that we can solve them easily. So over here I have a question which will be going to which is depicting the with continuous series and the group data. So by that we will be going to calculate all the things, relevant things which are included in our formula. So first we need to calculate the cumulative frequency. So I am giving you the steps also. So the steps for this is you need to complete the table by which you will be going to get the cumulative frequency by adding all the frequency to the upper one. Okay, by the upper cumulative frequency basically. Okay, then you will be going to get the n by 2. N by 2, that means that is you will be going to calculate the n, whatever x f, whatever is given to you, you will be going to get the n by 2. By that you need to determine what is the lower limit, what will be the middle value, what will be the class frequency, and what will be the interval. Okay, and by this we will be going to calculate the, by putting all those values in our formula, we will be going to calculate our median. Okay, so over here we have the data over here, and we'll need to calculate the cumulative frequency first. So by cumulative frequency, how we'll calculate it, like we have the 5 over here. So by adding 5 to the another frequency, okay, so 5 will be the same for the first one, it will be the remain same. For the next one we will be going to add on. Okay, the 5 plus 2 will be 7, then the 7 will be added to the normal frequency. Okay, so 7 plus 3 will be 10, then 10 plus 5 15, 15 plus 2 17, this continues till the end. Okay, so to the end we will be going to get the value. Okay, now you need to get it very clear that the total of your frequency and the last number of cumulative frequency, they both should be equal to each other, because this is the total, both are the totals basically, that's why. So now we need to calculate the solution. So n by 2 is that we got the median, or we got the number of total जो हमने calculate किया, that is 40. So now we have to calculate n by 2. तो n by 2 हो जाएगा 40 by 2, that means 20. Then the category which is containing over here that 20 or n by 2, that is 35 to 39, because 26 is coming over here. So 35 to 39 will be your value, or you can say the 35 to 39 will be your class interval or class for that particular. Now the lower limit over here will be the 35. Okay, then you need to get the ln, which will be coming by 35 to 39, that will be 34.5. then cumulative frequency for that particular will be the 9, which we have got already. Then the frequency the frequency of that median class will be the 9, and the cumulative frequency will be of the preceding class. That means जो हमारी preceding class means 35 to 39 जो है वो हमारी current class है, ठीक है. So now whatever the class we will be, the cumulative frequency we will be going to pick up, that will be from the preceding one. Okay, so that will be from 30 to 34 one, that will be 17, right? So by that you will going to get the cumulative frequency, and the class interval is basically the difference between the both upper class to the lower class. That is 5, it is given over here. So we're going to put up all those values to the form to our formula, that 34.5. That means we have already calculated to our lower limit. Okay, that 34.5 might be all of you have the confusion that how we have calculated 34.5. Okay, so by this, whenever you have the discrete data that which is not continuous to each other, that 30 to 34, 35 to 39, that means what you will be going to do, that you will be going to less zero point 0.5 from the previous class and add zero point 0.5 to the upper class. Okay, by that you will be going to get the continuous data. Okay, so if I'm going to less 34 35 point minus zero point 0.5, that will be 34.5, and if I'll be going to add zero point 0.5, that zero point 0.5 to the 39, I'll be going to get the 39.5, and the difference between 39.5 to 34.5 will be the 5. Okay, so by that I will be getting the value of class interval, right? So by this I have get all the details or all the values which I have been getting over here. So now I have all the data and all the relevant information from it, and by that I will be going to calculate the median, and simple it is that it will be showing that 36.17 is your median in this. So I have some properties with the median which work to calculate the median, which help the median to calculate the actual observation or to give the actual observation. But in case median does not give you the actual observation of the data, because it never affect from the like from the lower and the upper values. Okay, and it can be applied in ordinal level, but on the extreme levels it never applied or it never goes to there. Okay, and it, like I'm telling you, that it does not affect from the extreme values, so that's why it is not it is not taken as the right or correct observations, or the, like you can say कि ideal observations हम इसको नहीं मान सकते. And when we used it, whenever we need to calculate the midpoint or the extreme scores, where the extreme scores are not that much relevant to us. So fine, next is the third you can say the third measure of central tendency is mode. So mode or the modal score is basically a score which is very recurring or very continuous in the times. Okay, so for example, अगर मैं किसी की height निकाल रही हूँ, height calculate कर रही हूँ for a particular class, and I am getting the most recurring or most occurring value is 5.3 or 5.4 as a average height or as a normal height of a student, that means what I will be going to get, that 5.4 is coming to me for multiple of times or more than 8 or 10 times. That means that 5.4 will be my ideal value for mode, and mode value will be depicted by the Z. The symbol of mode will be the Z, and we have the unimodal biomodel, and then tree model we have, like in like unimodel is a consist only one mode, then biomodel is consist of two modes, and trimodal is consisting of three modes, and there's a multimodal too that have the more than two modes basically. Okay, so I have the data over here that consists of 10 students of section A, section B, and section C who are getting the scores in it. So now I have to calculate the mode, or I have need to calculate the recurring value over here. So the mode for the particular class that is known as by giving the solution by just opinion or by observation. So if I am going to get the values, that section A, I have the values 25, 24, 24, 20, 20, 20, 16, 12, 10, 7. So now what I can see, that 24 is repeating of 2 times, whereas the 20 is repeating for the 3 times. That means for the section A, mode will be the 20. Okay, for the section B, again I have the values that 18 and 24 both are repeating for the 2 times. That means that is the case of bimodal. Okay, and the second one is score of section C, which is giving me the 25 is for 1 time, then 21, then 18. That means that is trimodal or it is multimodal basically. Okay, so modes are like, again this is just giving to you the example. Again, model or the model class or the mode values can also be calculated in the group data. Okay, and for the particularly group data, we going to calculate it by the z values. Okay, and by that z, that will be the, we have the formula that lower limit again, the lb will be the lower limit plus d1. Now the d1 will be the difference of the model class and the above frequency, and the d2 will be the difference between the frequency and the decreasing frequency, or you can say the lowest to highest जो हम उसको arrange करते हैं उस accordingly हम lowest वाले से उसको minus करेंगे, and that total will be multiplied by the class intervals, and that by that value we will be going to get the value of model class or the mod. Again, I have taken the example over here that I have the scores for the 40 students, and which consists of 60 items basically. So 10 to 14, 15 to 19, again I have the data, continuous data, but it is not continuous as in, because they are not ending up to the each other. So now what we will be going to get, we will be going to calculate it as in, or we will be going to shift it in the continuous one by adding the, by subtracting the point 1 to the lower limit and adding to it to the upper limit. By that we will be going to get the continuous data, and then we have the frequency over here. By this we will be going to calculate the lower limit, upper limit, and then d1, d2 and ci. By all those measures we will be going to get the value for the mode, जैसे कि model class आया 35 39, ठीक है. Then we got the lower limit of 35, then the lower limit for that particular will be 35 minus 0.5, that will be 34.5, and the d1 will be 9 minus 2, that means 9, that is our frequency for the model class, and d1 I have already told you the d1 will be by subtracting the previous class. तो 9 minus 2 हम उसमें से minus करेंगे, that will be 7, and for the next month 40 to 44 जो आ रहा है हमारा, वो हमारा d2 के लिए calculate होगा, that means 9 minus 6, that will be your lower limit. Then d1 d2 are basically, we have calculated d1 d2, then we have the ci, that means 34.5 minus 39.5, we'll get the value of 5, and by putting all those values to the mode formula we will be going to get the mode, and over here we are getting mode of 38, that means the 38 times the 40 students got 38 as an occurring value, or as an occurred several times. Okay, so this is what we have calculated as mode. So that's it for our today's class. We will be going to get in touch with you next class. So thank you so much and stay safe.